Welcome again to ION South Asia. We have interesting stories for you, all of you there. Prakash, US is really coming very heavily on US-based Indians who have a business relationship or their own businesses with India or in India. Because what was happening is that the business people staying in America would hardly declare their income that they were making in India because that money was sometimes not even coming here or was sitting in international accounts or was coming here somehow or the other. And they have been UBS group paid heavy penalties for that, and then HSBC has become very conscious about it because one of their bigger clients, Mr. Desai, Ashwin Desai, has been, according to the report, he hid 8.8 million in 2009 from his India operations with HSBC. And he did not report the interest he earned from 2007 to 2009. And this is not acceptable. So federal grand jury has indicted Desai just the last week. And it's not necessarily good news for all our viewers out there. They should know that if you have any bank account in India for business, or even if you're a signatory to a bank account, there are forms that you need to fill up, and there are experts who can guide you in the right direction. It's not a crime. It's just that you need to declare. You need to tell the US Department of Revenue, IRS, this is what we are involved in, this is what we do, and this is the income we are making. Otherwise, I can tell you the way US is going about it, knowing very well that Indo-US relationships are really going through the roof, and business people are working, a lot of businesses in India making obviously gains out of that. They need to be declared in their income and make it taxable if it is under the category, but they should get the right advice from the experts.
See, I've been watching this for quite some time. It was debated at length in the GOPIO meeting held last week, and also in the previous meetings. And what they were telling is any deposit in India more than $10,000, resident, doesn't mean US citizens or green card holders.
Right.
Any resident who's paying taxes in the US should show global income.
Right.
It applies to across the board, any nationality, not only Indians. They have to declare any income, even if it's accrued before getting the citizenship or green card. They have to declare in the tax returns, and they can. The good news is, if they're paying taxes in India, they can get credit.
Yes.
It's not that always Uncle Sam goes after your money.
Right.
What they're saying is, if we want to know
accountability,
your global operations, how much money you have, whether you're paying interest, and the money, whether it's gone from here or self-earned property or your business in India. But as long as you're paying taxes in the US, you're supposed to declare, and 3 forms are very important. And sometimes the people are saying even the accountants here do not advise properly, because if you don't disclose voluntarily, the subject to penalty, that could be even a prison sentence. That was I was told.
In this case,
Ashwin Desai. And they're going after it. And now the latest news, which was told in the GOPIO meeting, that IRS has written a letter to all the American banks and all the Indian banks to give them the list of people living in the US,
Correct,
holding accounts in India.
Correct.
And they're going to match that with our tax records. And if it's not in the tax record, the particular form, they're going to come after us.
Right. So it's very important to consult a tax attorney who is aware of this area, and most of them are, and get the right advice before you run into trouble. Some sad story. Mrs. Indrani Rahman, who has been traveling all over US under the auspices of Asia Society and the Department of State, she was in Louisiana, and they were there for performances, obviously. And the dance troupe with 7 other dancers she's doing all over US, she had to cancel the performances in Louisiana. And it was so strange that she could not be served food in the restaurants, but the managers would not take her order because of the color issue. And she was very upset. She says, I was feeling insulted and humiliated. And she says, because of that we were sponsored by Asia Society and with the assistance from the American State Department, I did not want to make too much noise about it, but we feel very humiliated, and this should be taken up. This should not be repeated, because we are here as cultural ambassadors of India, and we feel very offended about it.
The only thing is, I'm surprised. The governor of the state is an Indian American, Bobby Jindal. It happened in his state.
Yeah, well.
Of course, there no connection between the two incidents.
I hope he hears about it and takes over to the restaurant and
Exactly.
walks up there, and we want to see how they take his orders.
Exactly.
About food. I'm not talking about the legal orders here. Prakash, now we have again a sad story about an British Indian man who has been arrested for illegally bringing migrants to England. Bhavin Shah, who is a young man, actually 34 years old, and he was under a trap from surveillance department, under surveillance, and they were trying to pick him up because he was very open. If you want to bring someone from India, I can get them from India for just £3,000. And they trapped him, and he has been now charged with £4,750 and 2.5 years. He said that he had charged £4,750 for an enrollment and 2.5 years of student visa. So he has been arrested by police, and now he's under investigation from the immigration department. Lot of trouble for him, lot of trouble. And we have these sad stories coming to us, which doesn't make us look good. On the other hand, some good news we covered last week with Nitya on the Miss India USA pageant, which was to be held last week at the Royal Albert Palace. You know Dharmatma Swaran, the chairman of India Festival Committee, and he and his wife have done extraordinary work. And I went to the event, very nice, very colorful event. There were girls participating from 22 states. And Chandana Prini Kaur, she is actually from New York, your city. And she, I think a couple of weeks ago, only won the Maza Miss India New York pageant. And now she won the Miss India USA 2011 pageant. This girl is so pretty, so composed, tall, very good looking. And she was, she did a Janagana Mana through a very unique kind of composition, and then in her interesting artistic segment, her parents were in tears. I talked to both her parents, and they could not believe. They're very humble people from a village in Punjab, and they migrated here, and they brought up their kids very well with nice value system. And they could not imagine that their daughter will win Miss India USA pageant. They were so humbled. And this girl maintains a balance between the American culture and Indian culture. She's at ease with the American side of the culture, and including her Punjabi culture. So very good. And she has, she's a student, and she's majoring in business administration, and she holds a bachelor's degree, and she's now pursuing her master's degree. So now she goes on to the Miss India Worldwide, which is this year being held in Suriname on 25th February. And Prakash, Miss India Worldwide is the only and the largest Indian beauty pageant outside of India. Last year it was in, I think, Dubai. Before that was in South America. This year it goes to Suriname, and the president of Suriname has declared 25th February as the India Day. Very interesting, and I have plans, if I can go there and be watching it, how the Surinamis celebrate this kind of an event. Of course, they're all our own fellow Indians.
Indian immigrants who've been there for quite some time.
And very good looking, very, very good looking. I was in Netherlands a few years ago, and I saw lots of them over there. They are in love with Bollywood. They love Indian music. They love Indian movies. And they have a very strong bond with India. So I'm looking forward to what happens on February 25th if our own Miss India USA goes on to win the Miss India Worldwide. We'll be following this story. Prakash, our own, she is a good friend of mine, Nisha Mathur. She is a co-host of very popular weekend TV show called AVS, Asian Variety Show, which is out of New Jersey, and it's syndicated all over US and parts of Canada. And Nisha has been a co-host for at least, if I recall, about 18-20 years. And she was a young kid when she came on, and now she has grown up into a woman, and she has young daughters who are going to Rutgers. And Nisha is actually born in America. And coincidentally, she is married to a good friend of mine who went to NJIT with me. She has released her own book called My Mango Tango. And she hosted a nice, unique party last week at Fire and Ice, which has become a very famous place in Woodbridge, near Addison in New Jersey. And it had almost, I would say, 150 guests, including youngsters from Rutgers who performed. And Nisha was literally in tears when she spoke about the book and how the idea came to her, because she used to write. Her children would insist, "Mom, I think you can do the job, so continue, write a book." And it's not easy because it's very difficult to balance a life as a mother, as a wife, as a daughter, and as an individual, you know. And she said this is the book which spans 3 generations: the journey from India to USA, the yearnings of a teenager, and then a new married life in America. She said as a child she struggled to find the right balance between Indian and American culture, but today she has passed it on to her both daughters. This girl is so wonderful. I'm looking forward to reading, and you should get a copy of it. And hopefully we can bring her to the show and talk about this book a little bit more in details as she releases the book. I think the book has been published by Benavi LLC and it's about 168 pages and it's in English language. Congratulations to Nisha Mathur. Last week was a lot of action in New Jersey again, or in New York included. Tri-State had a lot of action. IREO, which is one of the leading real estate developers and with the largest foreign investors, was in Tri-State with their brand ambassador Vijay Amritraj, and they met with lots of potential investors. They were attracting them to invest through this into Indian real estate. And Anjali Grover, who was the host for the evening, she said it is IREO's goal to become the most respected real estate developer of India. It's a very new company, very young company. About 2 years ago or 3 years ago they have started it, but she believes that they want to be the most respected real estate developer in India by consistently delivering superior value to our customers. And IREO has committed about $2 billion into Indian real estate. And they have now almost, they say as of now committed they have about the apartments that are about from 1,500 to 3,000 square foot, and they're all very modestly priced, even though extraordinary quality, which is at about 9,000 rupees, which is hardly $200 per square foot. You know, you can't have a rent in Manhattan for $200 square foot. But these are absolutely phenomenal apartments, luxury apartments that they have built, and they are mostly in Gurgaon, and they have also unleashed many projects in northern part of India, especially in Punjab. So they were here and meeting all the investors and attracting them to come with them and buy these properties. The last story we have today, Prakash, is about our own Society of Indo-American Engineers and Architects. They had their annual gala last week at the Grand Hyatt in New York. And what a glittering ceremony, you know. It is, you probably have attended in the past, and I'm a member, I'm a director on the board. It is one of the most organized event. It is one of the classiest event that I attend year after year after year. And as our own ambassador Prabhu Dayal, who was there as the guest of honor, said, it is his honor and proud to address such a distinguished gathering. It is a high quality event and one of the most important events of the calendar for Indo-American community. And Nayan Parikh, who is guiding the organization, it's typically a 2-year term as the president, and he in his welcome address said, I would like to welcome our respected honorees, because they honor every year after year, who are being honored tonight for their years of hard work, individual achievements and community services. These honorees have been selected through the efforts of our own selection committee, and I would like to thank each of them. Everybody was humbled. And we had, I think a month and a half ago, the Society of Indo-American Engineers, the executive body, was here for our show, The Leading Force, which is also a weekly show for us. And let's show some of the clips from there and what their mission is, what it is about, and how they went about it. Tell us a little bit about this organization, how it has covered this journey of 30 years.
Okay, like you said, Sunil, Mohan Jethwani and Mr. Daryani started this organization, and they always thought that we should have kind of organization that we all can share our ideas, share our intelligence, and share our skills.
What is the overall organization? Tell us, you know, you are the president, I know he's the secretary and the president-elect. I'm sure there is at least 20, 30, 40 more people behind who make things happen month after month, day after day, year after year. Give us a little bit of insight to
See,
it.
the organization is made of pretty much 20 dynamic people, including our past president Ravi Shenoy, myself, Mihir, Samir, plus we have treasurer, secretary, and the executive committee members. They work very, very hard on a daily basis to take this organization to the next chapters. And as far as activities and as far as getting more members, like you said, we have 300,000 engineers in this country.
So your mission is to ensure that new members get that connectivity, that kind of networking and the opportunity. Otherwise, somebody used to come at the JFK and they don't know what to do, what to talk, who to go to, for even look for a job.
Exactly.
And or improve their educational skills.
Right.
So essentially, is it totally focused on the organization and engineering people, or also kind of being a bridge between, like you said, a common belief was engineers cannot even speak. So you are now organizing the seminars or the conferences where you probably invite a local politician or a senator or a congressman. He suddenly sees, and there is on stage Mihir Patel speaking, engaging 1,000 people. He says, "Oh my God, I thought you could not even speak." And suddenly he sees the realities. So are you the kind of the bridge?
Yes,
that you're trying
you brought very good points, Sunil. In last 5 years, the organization really picked up a lot of momentum.
True, true.
We had David Peterson, the Lieutenant Governor, was our speaker at one point. Bill Thompson, the past New York controller, was our speaker. Sharon Greenberger, who was the president and CEO for SCA, School Construction Authority, she was our speaker. John Liu is the current controller. He came and spoke on our event. And most of the senators and congressmen. So yes, we are being a bridge for the community. We are sending a message that we are there.
So Prakash, you saw the organization is growing by leaps and bounds, and they have a national plan now for every other state, at least few other regional centers where they'll open it. And they dream that one of these days they would be like something like API or a TAI. So that brings to the top stories of the week that we wanted to present to our viewers at ION South Asia. Stay with us week after week, and these are the top stories for this week. Keep on watching ION South Asia, where we will keep on bringing to you the best of news, views and latest happenings in South Asian community in North America. Have a great weekend, folks. See you next week. I'm Sunil Hali, your own host on ION South Asia.
Hi, this is Prakash Swami.